Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Godforge video. I'm back with another Godforge video after a few days of, nothing much happening because we are between the alpha waves and we have some patch notes regarding what's going to be changed, what's going to happen for the sake of this last alpha wave, wave 3, where it's also going to be the competition wave. So let's check it out together. So fair warning from now, there's going to be the white screen of death because, well, we got it on a PDF format. So it's going to be a little bit white, but, for those of you that usually, like to have these patch notes read out, and that's what I'm here to do for you. So let's check it out. So we have patch notes version 0.3.28652, right? This is the second installment of the patch notes that we have. Let's see what's going to be changing. Some of these things, from what I've been told, are going to be a little bit like more general, but still, I want to go through this so we see what's going to happen. So, the final alpha wave awaits. Over the past few weeks, Scions have faced many challenges in the Caverns of Chaos and now descend one last time. Our final wave of alpha is here. We have a number of updates and bug fixes in preparation for the challenge ahead. The feedback provided by the community has been essential in helping craft the best possible experience and ensuring a fair challenge awaits all players. Now, the first part of it is going to be regarding bleeds, blaze, and more. So, bleeds have been in the alpha since Scions first entered the caverns, but due to their unique stacking nature, have not always presented correctly. This update introduces changes to both the visual experience and to its core functionality. Now, bleed will correctly show the number of active bleeds on the enemy, and you have bug fixed the core issue allowing more than 10 bleeds to be placed. Okay, that makes sense because it kind of seems like bleeds were OP, right? They were doing a ton of damage because of that reason. In addition, heroes such as Achilles can now remove bleeds to unlock the powerful damage upgrades. Okay, so maybe this was not working before. That's good to know. In addition, all bosses held a passive that reduced incoming damage from debuffs such as bleed, blaze, and acid. These effects were expected to deal 25% of their original damage, when in reality they were dealing 100%. Oh, that kind of changes everything. In this upcoming version, this passive will now be active, so make sure to check other strategies to defeat the mighty Fafnir. So now that we know that these damage over time, bleed, blaze, and acid were doing a lot more than they were expected to do, I personally believe that this kind of shifts the importance of the starter, right? I mean, obviously during the alpha, you kind of get the chance to be able to farm most of them to get into A5. But still, I believe that because of this change right over here, or because of this fix that was not working as intended, I do believe that actually somebody else is going to be the best starter. And I think I'm going to have a video on that for tomorrow, which is kind of going to tell you who I'm going to pick this as the starter and why I'm going to pick that person. But let's move on. Generators, weapons, and divinity balance. One of the key discoveries in Alpha Wave 2 by Scions was the ability to generate significant amounts of divinity, leading to unintended gameplay experiences. In this update, we have taken steps to balance a number of divinity ultimate generators. Previously, these would be in cases, this would in some cases generate from actions by heroes outside of their turns, such as if an ally received a buff. Now, generators will be focused on the hero, requiring them to perform the actions to earn the divinity. Okay, that makes sense. Similarly, a number of weapons could be stacked to create a team-wide bonus, leading to significant imbalance. Weapons have received a similar treatment, with many bonuses being adjusted to focus on actions by the hero wielding the weapon. We have also taken the steps to update several weak weapons to provide more options to players. Okay, that's good, because when it comes to weapons, there were like 2-3 weapons that were like OP and used on everybody, and every other one were kind of like, on the back burner, nobody used them. The list is extensive, so make sure to check out the weapons and heroes when you start your descent. I guess we're gonna be seeing more of that once the game relaunches. New and updated features. Bleeds now display their stack count on heroes. Makes sense. Bleeds now correctly are removed by the following heroes: Achilles and Dracula, which I think they were not removing them in the past, so it kind of makes sense that, now their kit worked as intended. Updated and rebalanced several weapons, updated and rebalanced several divinity ultimate generators, added a count to the hero roster. That's good, because so many times you would not know exactly how many you have, and then if you farm and you go over the 150, which is the you know, maximum slot, all of them would be lost, or I think they would be turned into what's it called? They would be turned into imprints, and you might not really want that. Added wave, turn, and battle time to the battle experience. Updated Dagonet's passive. Previous has a 50% chance to join the attack when attacking an enemy below 50% HP. Now has a 50% chance to increase turn meter by 5% when placing a debuff. Okay, that sounds interesting. Obviously the broken, because that used to be broken, right? The Dagonet imprint on every single weapon used to be broken, and people would attack a lot more than they were supposed to. So I guess this makes sense that it's a bit more balanced, as it was too powerful, honestly. Then Shamash now places shield on overhealing on his ultimate instead of barrier. Fafnir will now ignore Immortal. In addition, shields, barrier, and ward after Fafnir casts 20 ultimates. Well, this is definitely going to make it be a little bit harder, which means that, you know, the fights will not be happening for 3 days, or, you know, some crazy numbers should not be happening anymore. Fafnir stage 151 will now end after 500 turns have taken place in battle. So after you take, we kind of got clarification in Discord on this. After not Fafnir, but after all of your team plus Fafnir, all of those turns together, when that hits 500 turns, the whole battle stops. I hope it stops and saves the damage, right? Because otherwise, it would be sad if you do those fights and then it doesn't save it, but I presume that's what's going to happen. Also, Fafnir and Golden Guardian stats at higher stages have been increased. They were already hard enough to beat without having some specific, you know, stats, some specific, you know, dots. They were the damage over time, the blades, bleed, and acid. So I'm curious how this one's gonna look now, but I guess, you know, more difficulty, I'm happy about that. Economy updates. Increase the drop rate of epic heroes in stages 60 to 120. Increase better quality armor drop rates in stages 60 plus. Yeah, we kind of needed this because it was really hard to be able to get the right, you know, the high quality of the armors. So it was difficult to get the best stuff. So I guess that's a good improvement. Updated the guaranteed epic and legendary heroes on stages 20 and 30. I'm not sure what this one means. I guess maybe they put all of them, or maybe they were different. The added an eternal only farming at stage 125 for alchemy stones. That makes sense because most of the time the eternals were, you know, you would have them at certain stages where you would farm for cunning, for strength, or for wisdom. They would be as another drop. So now if you only want to farm eternal, we have this specific stage. So that's a good fix. I like that. Next one, bug fixes. Fix several issues relating to hero AI behavior. I'm curious what that means because, you know, AI behavior is usually really difficult to like perfectly fine-tune. So for an alpha, I was not expecting stuff like that, but I guess we're gonna see what this means. Fixed a number of issues causing challenges and stages to not grant rewards. Okay, that's good. Fixed a number of issues relating to using ultimates on star challenges. Fixed several issues with armor set bonuses. Fixed an issue causing Shishi to place barrier on all allies when receiving debuffs. Yep, that was kind of happening and it made them be powerful. Fixed an issue with shields and barriers generating at quantities greater than designed. Fixed an issue where bosses would now reduce the damage from blaze, bleed, and acid, which we kind of heard. They were taking 100% damage from that instead of just taking 25%. Fixed an issue that would cause you to skip a turn after selecting imprints or passives in battle. I heard about that, so if you didn't want to hit somebody, just click on the passive and you'll skip the turn, which is, again, not good, so I'm glad they fixed it. Updated the localization of several abilities to correct errors and improve clarity. There was one that I specifically reported in Alpha Wave 1, and that was like Achilles. After you awaken him 1, his core ability would not say places retaliate, increase attack, whatever he had in a retaliate. It would just swap the text. It would just say the text would be like also places retaliate. That's what the core ability would say after you after you awakened him 1. So I'm curious if that was fixed. Then fixed an issue that would cause promotion events to fail if a player's gold value was in a specific range. Fixed several issues causing leaderboard to not show your progress. That's all for the final alpha update. Be sure to join our Discord and to get involved in the chat. So obviously make sure to join all the social, join the Discord. There's going to be links to all of that in the description of this video. I have them in all of my Godforge videos, but I'm happy to see this again, right? I'm happy to see more patch notes. I'm happy to see things being balanced. I'm happy to see things being fixed. And honestly, I think the best thing that I've done out of this one, from my point of view, specifically for the sake of this challenge, is the fact that they put a limit to 500 turns for the Fafnir fight, right? Without having this, the battle would have been a bit quirky, a bit difficult, and, you know, imbalanced, right? Because whoever can have the game open more often without having a limit, that's who would kind of like maybe do the highest damage. But now with the 500 turn limit, it's gonna be interesting to do some testing and to do the battles. But I'm gonna leave it at this for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking it, subscribing to the channel to see when I upload next. Like I mentioned, keep an eye out on the channel, because tomorrow I'm gonna make a video telling you who's gonna be my starter for the next wave and who I personally believe to be the best starter now, especially because of these changes that were done. But I guess, yeah, thank you for watching, and I'm gonna see you all in the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.